Hey guys, Lulu Beauty here, and today I'll be featuring my Fenty Beauty Eye Essentials set. So I like to use the brow wax. I'm going to be using that today just to comb out my brows. Using this on bare skin. But I love that. So first thing I'm going to be using in my Eye Essentials set is my Brow MVP. I typically use black brown, but today I'm going to be using ash brown just to give me a little bit of dimension. It seems a little bit cooler, but front of the brow I like to go upwards. Just kind of create that motion there. Wow, look at the difference. This brow MVP is bomb. My favorite thing is to kind of look up to see, like tilt my head back, just to make sure that they're nice, even, and balanced as well. And I like to go cooler in the front of the brow because it looks a little bit more natural, and it kind of gives you, I believe it gives you a more like ombre effect on the easier. So I would typically use black brown on the back of my brow and then ash brown in the front. Now I'm going to use 370 concealer to clean up my brows. I'm going to be using that up with the Precision in 120. Underneath the brow, I like to only highlight underneath the brow, like right by the arch, because it creates more height and it also creates a little bit more dimension, opposed to like concealing all the way underneath my brow. So you can see in the difference here that this appears a little bit higher because I'm really just focusing the cleanup or the highlight underneath my brow bone, right underneath my arch, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do the same thing behind the arch just to kind of give it that clean look, polished. Look how polished, cleaned up, and I'm only really just focusing around the arch, so it's creating that height. It's polished, it looks clean. Love that. Now I'm going to be applying the Snap Shadow palette in the 1 all over my eyes. Neutral palette is in Snap Shadow 1, number 1 palette. And today I'm going to be using these 3 shades here. So first I'll be using Come and Get It all over in my crease with brush 210. These shadows are easy to blend, and I love to kind of take my shadow into my inner crease and kind of like pull it out a little bit to create lift. And I'm working from the outside inward opposed from the inside out, because it kind of builds color and intensity. So I encourage doing that opposed to sometimes doing this. That can kind of like pull and like your color can disappear. If you want to create intensity and a little bit of lift, kind of go from the outside in and do a little bit of blend. And try to avoid doing this when, so you know you're creating like that lift. I look up, I look alive. Look alive, people! Next color I'll be using is Tequila Nile all over the lid. I'll be using brush 200 on the lid. I'm gonna dust some stuff off. Just doing a patting motion all over the lid. I'm gonna bring a little bit into my tear duct because it's a look. Or you can always use your fingers to build up the intensity. And I typically always like will start off with a brush and then turn around and use my finger just to kind of build the intensity. Now I'm going to be using Affogato on the outer edges of the eye. Shade I'll be using brush 220. You saw me apply this with my concealer on the upper brow. So I'm building intensity towards the outer edge of my lid here to kind of create that lift, especially with my eyeliner. Just taking a little bit of my blending brush in 210, just blending the outer, buffing the outer edges of Affogato out. Kind of build that intensity. So I love to use a 220 on the outer to kind of just give me that placement, and then I'll go back with 210 and blend it out. So it's a really great way to kind of build, especially the darker shades that you're sometimes a little scared to use a little bit because you don't want it to look too intense or too much. Use your 220 for placement and use the blending brush to kind of buff it out and kind of really create that, you know, pull out look. So look at one side to the next. Here to here. Also just like kiss my lower lid with the color Affogato as well, because I like to kind of create a little bit of that drama. So I'll build the intensity right here on my lower lash line. Even though I'm going to use a fly pencil in the waterline, I like to kind of put an under smoke color right on the outer edges to kind of create that pulling and that long look. And that patting motion to create that intensity a little bit more. Again, going back in with my blending brush and kind of just softly, you know, buffing that out. Doing that under smoke to kind of build that intensity on the outer lid. So right here you feel like, oh, my come and get it is kind of losing it, but I like kind of like blurring out, and that's also a good thing, but you want to see it a little bit more. I'll just go back in, dust off the excess color, go back in with my come and get it, putting a little bit more color on the brush here and going back. What I love about the Snap Shadows is that they wear together really well. So when you have instances like that where you feel like your transitional shade is kind of like disappearing, you can always go back in. And what I like also is that it definitely softens. Like, just say like I made this too intense and I wanted to soften the look a little bit, I could have dipped right back in my come and get it and just buff it out some, and it would definitely smooth out the color. It won't feel like too cakey, or it won't look gray, or it seems like you're putting on too much at all. So Before I proceed, I like to check the look. So one way I love checking the look is tilting my head back a little bit just to see where everything falls and kind of create a little bit more symmetry. Now I'm going to be using the Fly pencil in Cause I'm Black. I love this pencil so much. It is fabulous. It does not go anywhere. So I'm tightlining the under eye. So just know you can always either use it on the lower lash or in the waterline. Now if you close it, it's gonna kind of make your eyes a bit smaller. Or on this side, I'm gonna go halfway. So you see a little bit of a difference. So this looks a little bit more open. I have a little bit, you see the shimmer here a little bit more. Here it's giving me a little bit more of a closed look. So it all depends. I typically love a little bit more of the closed look and give me a little bit of drama, especially when I put mascara on the lower lash. It gives me a little bit more drama and I really, really enjoy that. So again, this is closed. This is halfway. Closed, halfway, and then step back and see the difference between the two. So we went with the closed look. Gonna be applying Fly liner on my top lid. I love this liner, super easy. Now, it has a longer tip, so with your traditional eyeliners, you don't necessarily have to lay this one flat. You can actually just use a tip, especially when you want to do a tight line. So here I'm going to be doing a tight line on my upper lid. So here we go. And let me get closer in. I do small sketches on the line here, and I'm not winging it out, I'm actually just doing that. So I step back, creates more of a fuller look. My lashes look a lot fuller as well. So see the difference without. I'll be applying full frontal mascara on my lower lashes. As you can see, I do have lash extensions, so I will not be applying it there, but I will be applying it on my lower. Vertically for my lower lashes, I could do this, but I feel more comfortable applying it downward, especially on my lower lashes. I typically just take a little bit of the excess when dressing your lower lashes because you don't want it to come out too much. I don't know, my lower lashes have been getting wild. They've been going so much. So I don't even know. And another thing you could do with the lower lash, and really zoom in, you can almost go like a sway. Like do a sway to catch all of them. See here? And on this side, do the same. Well, ladies and gents, this is the final look. Here we go. Hair's out. Foundation's on. We're ready to go. The foundation's on. Ready to go and conquer our day. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Eye Essentials set by Fenty Beauty. Talk to you later.